sometimes I tell people, I've survived cancer 4 times, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." And I'm like,
Mm.
"I'm not."
Yeah.
It's funny how life can change when you hear the words, unexpectedly, it usually is. You have stage 4 aggressive blood cancer, and then later find out that your oncologist team was saying to your family, we're going to do the best that we can,
Mm.
but we don't know what's going to happen. And I think my thought process was like, okay, well, thank God, now we know what it is. We know that we can get busy. Then my house burned down. Was I was raped.
Hmm.
And I usually call it date rape, although the date part was so pitiful. I shouldn't even really use that word. And so he picked me up, and basically we drove around for an hour or two, just kind of doing nothing. And then he parked his car in the middle of a field and raped me.
Mm.
And I was saying no and yelling and crying, and he was putting his hand over my mouth and saying, "Stop it." And I couldn't stop it. But when you have been put in that mental position of, you don't really have that much worth, and, you know, you're so stupid. So you don't really value yourself
Yeah.
either. And you see that the world doesn't value you that much. One time he said to me, he threw a brick at my foot and he said, you shouldn't marry me. But I think that there was a part of me that felt like, well, this is probably the best that I can do.
Mm.
Losers that not only are they unattractive, but they're an embarrassment.
Mm.
That's how his dad was very specific. And that's how his mom, I mean, she got her jaws wired shut so she would lose weight. And then she would go to the bars and drink till she passed out. And so John, my husband, first husband, as a young person, had to have wire cutters so he could cut her mouth open so she didn't choke on her own vomit by trying to lose weight.
Oh,
Right. I mean,
how traumatic.
traumatic stuff. And I
Mm.
got it. And I went into our bathroom and locked the door. And I stood in front of this giant mirror and I held it up to my head. And I just looked at myself and I'm like, why not? I mean, this is never going to get better.
Mm.